Hello, welcome to Old Nerd Reads His Marvel Comics in Order. This is episode 101. We have turned a quarter of or an entire century old. Let's take a sip of Americano, drink to that, out of our Kalianka Donald Duck mug. Happy birthday to me. So, Iron Man number 95. This is the first issue of Iron Man that I've had in this series in a while. The last time was issue number 87, and that was in Old Nerd Reads His Marvel Comics in Order, episode number 36. I'll try and put a card for that right here, in case anybody wants to go back and check that one out. So I had two issues of Iron Man early on in my collection, 86 and 87, and then nothing until issue 95. Now, I believe from this issue on out, I think I have every issue of Iron Man until the end of the series, I think. If not, I have pretty close to it. Okay, this copy is probably a fine minus. It's better than good, I would say. It's got some staining here. Page is a bit yellowed. A lot of staining right there. So this is not much better than good, but a little bit better than good, I would say. Bill Mantlo is still working on the writing. He did the script, but Jerry Conway is the plotter. George Tuska still doing the art. And I can't remember if Don Perlin was the inker before or not. This starts off with Iron Man testing his new armor in his New York State Stark Enterprises lab. He's got this big drill, atomic pile driver, and he's using it on himself. And there's the scientists here that are assisting Iron Man. I can't believe it because this thing's designed to punch holes through mountains. So the reason we're doing this is because I guess for the last several issues, Iron Man has had his armor damaged pretty badly from some of the foes that he's gone up against, and they list them right here: Blood Brothers, Controller, Melter, Kraken, and it says this all happened in the last 5 issues. Now, what they've overlooked, and this time especially, when Marvel is trying to make the whole universe a cohesive unit by having multiple story arcs, crossover issues, titles crossing over to make it feel like everybody, all the superheroes live in the same Marvel universe. See, they should have talked about the last few issues of the Avengers as well, because in that series, Iron Man had his armor destroyed as well. And they should have added that into this, especially since Jerry Conway is involved, because I think he was writing the Avengers, or part of plotting that anyway. So I feel like in a few years later, like in the 80s, they probably would have remembered to add that into the list. But at this time, it's still kind of a new thing for them to include all of the titles and everything going on in the other books, kind of in the zeitgeist of what's going on. So, but that stood out to me, that he talks about how his armor got damaged so badly from these fights that he's had, but they don't list that he got it damaged in the pages of the Avengers as well. So just a little oversight, I'm sure, or maybe it hadn't even occurred to him at that time yet. But anyway, the test is over. It was a success. His new armor withstood this huge pile driver. These two people, a scientist and a secretary, I guess. I don't remember these characters. What are their names? Ms. Longfellow is the woman, and I believe that's Stark's secretary. And Abe Klein is the man, and he must be like a scientist. I don't remember seeing them in the other 2 issues of Iron Man. Maybe they were, but I don't remember them being there. But this part always amazes me, how he's able to, number one, fit all of his armor into a briefcase, and number two, he's just in his tighty whities under the armor. Like, that doesn't seem like a good idea. You should at least have on like a spandex suit or something. But that's just me. So he changes back into Stark, comes back, has to kind of pretend with the secretary that he didn't just speak with her as Iron Man, because he's keeping his identity secret. He gets a phone call from a senator who wants him to report to Washington, D.C. at once, because there is scuttlebutt that Tony Stark, being the government's number one defense contractor, there's scuttlebutt that Tony Stark is trying to sell some of his same tech to foreign powers. So he's going to be in trouble with the government if he doesn't come up with some answers. So he's got to go to Washington and have a meeting. In the meantime, a Russian sub is headed directly for Washington at the same time. It is being chased. It fires a missile. It does not explode. Iron Man arrives, though, in Washington, right on time. Somebody who's watching him from the shadows here. Now, this unexploded missile has landed on the shore of the Chesapeake Bay. The army shows up. Now, this is really cool. This is George Tuska drawing tank here. A couple of tanks, helicopters. He does a really good job with that tank. That tank looks really good, I think. And this isn't a typical missile. Inside it is Nuclo. So Nuclo basically wipes out the army and heads for the White House. Luckily, Iron Man's there, though. And before Iron Man can change out of his iron, Nuclo attacks. So Iron Man goes on the defensive. It's a pretty good fight. He isn't slowing down Nuclo at all. He's throwing it all at him. The cops of the army are still trying to slow him down. Iron Man can't do it. The military can't do it. The police can't do it. And Nuclo, after he gets blasted backwards by a repulsor ray from Iron Man, hits the Washington Monument and breaks it. And it starts tipping over. Iron Man stops it. Everybody cheers, of course. Yay, Iron Man. We begin to attack again, and you'd think that Washington Monument wouldn't be very steady after that. It would probably tip right back over, but no, it's staying up. And it's back on the attack with Nuclo. He's got some laser beams he's blasting Iron Man with out of his eyes. He bops him one with his fist, grabs him, squeezes him. Can't take the pressure, so Nuclo must be pretty strong, because remember at the beginning of the issue, he had this pile driver hammering on him and destroyed it because the armor was too tough. But apparently Nuclo is pretty tough, because already, look, Iron Man armor is damaged from Nuclo's squeeze. And he's inoperative. Nuclo, defeating Iron Man, heads for the Capitol. And that's our cliffhanger. Only a friend can save him. So I'm guessing we're going to have a special guest star next issue. And that'll be cool. This cover is by Jack Kirby with inks by Al Milgrom. Al Milgrom, I feel like, is the perfect inker for Jack Kirby. Al Milgrom seems to have a very similar style, I think. And I don't generally like when Al Milgrom inks anyone, because he's just too splotchy, uses too much black, splashes too much ink over top of pencils. But for Jack Kirby's pencils, I think it works quite well. But yeah, that's issue number 95 of Iron Man, the February 1977 issue. Like I said, I believe I have all the rest of Iron Man from here on out. So Iron Man will now be a regular part of Old Nerd Reads His Marvel Comics in Order video series. So stick around for more. If you like this kind of thing, please subscribe. I read an issue of my comic collection, do a video on it, and I'm reading what I own, my Marvel Comics. I'm reading them in publishing date order and doing videos on them. It's kind of like an experiment to see how much I can learn about the history of Marvel Comics and get a feel for the way that the characters turn out later, the storylines that generated a lot of the lore and the build up to what everyone knows as Marvel Comics through the movies, just to get a feel for the history and what it's all built upon. So that's why I'm doing this, and the other reason why I'm doing it is just to read my collection. But if that sounds like a good time, please subscribe. And if you know another old nerd like us, share it with them. And stick around for another one. Leave me a like on this one. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.